Oh, what's up, Dave?
Dude, how you been?
I'm doing all right, man. I got a little cough right there, but other than that,
Not COVID.
it's not COVID. I'm double vaxxed up. Hopefully that means no COVID forever.
Yeah.
Selling house, buying house, signing documents.
Just signing your fucking life away, dude.
Yeah, dude. Putting myself in forever debt.
That's where you want to be, right?
Why not?
That's how you know you're living. The whole plan is to gather as much bank debt as possible and then die before you can pay that shit back.
Yeah, dude. Loans are like Pokemon, dude.
Gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all.
Hell
Trying
yeah.
to have a car loan, a boat loan, a house loan.
A fucking boat loan. That's sick.
Dude. A boat for a fucking boat I won't even drive. Motorcycle loan.
Hell yeah.
I'm trying to get a loan for a ski lift.
That's sick, dude. I'm
Just
all about
to take me up and down my driveway. How you doing, man?
Dude, I'm hanging in there, man. Killed 2 weeks at the new shop, the Squirrel's Nest.
Mm-hmm.
It's been nice, man. It's actually, I like it a lot better. It makes life easy.
Yeah.
Dude. Like, I cut one of our homies recently, and then we just chilled in there, and like, I have a couch and shit. We're just hanging out, like, and that was sick. Like, I don't know. It's it feels like my space.
Right.
I got canceled on, and I fucking kicked off my shoes and laid on the couch. And I've been reading this book. I've been reading a lot of books right now. I must be manic because I'm like fucking just reading like 10 different books. But this book by Sarah Jaffe, I think is how you pronounce her name, called Work Won't Love You Back. It's fucking sick, dude. It's really good. It's about how fucking capitalism hates you, and you should not work that hard for your fucking enslavers, so it's really good. But it was nice to be able to just kick my fucking shoes off, dude, and like lay on a couch and read a book in between clients.
That's tight,
dude. It was so sick. I had the fucking diffuser going. I turned the lights down a little bit. It was fucking cool, man. It felt good. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah, dude. I got a little library going with a bunch of fucking radical books and shit. I told people that they could come and take them. Nobody's come and taken any books yet, so we'll see, they got to get through all the ACAB stickers and shit. So I'm definitely the most radical person that works there, but I don't know if that changes at any job I work at.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when I was like hanging out at a tattoo shop and people are like, man, you have really big stretched ears. And then I was like, yeah, got the biggest stretched ears here. And then I was like, you just have a huge, like, it's not different here than it is everywhere else. Yeah. It's just, you did something weird. Like, they're really fucking big, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, this is Tome of Chaos, where we talk about religion, philosophy, politics, all in the all for the end goal of creating a religion that doesn't suck, that all people can kind of get down with, except for like fascists and cops and but
it'll reform you. It'll change you.
It'll change you. And we've been talking a lot. We haven't hit religion in a while, actually. And part of that is because religion's fucking hard and messy. But
and a lot of it really sucks.
Yeah, dude. It really fucking sucks, man. Like, don't just go on Google and type in religious news and fucking hate your fucking life. It's fucking terrible.
Well, a lot of the coolest stuff going on with religion is people rewriting the rules of old, outdated, like bigoted or fucking hateful shit, which is rad.
Yep.
But for me, it's like, well, I'm not going to try to learn what fundamental Judaism says when people are trying to make that shit more open and more chill. Yeah. More like the tome, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. So, what this is shit that we think that people should know and understand better, and what we're trying to know and understand. We're not fucking, we said it from day one that we're not experts on really anything.
No, I'm pretty uneducated on the whole.
But we're learning shit, and we're adopting it into our lives, and hopefully you'll adopt it into yours, and you'll nitpick this shit, and you'll only take what you love and quit what you don't. Yeah. I think that I'm really pumped about what we're fucking getting into. This was an idea of Walter's, so I'm going to let you take that over, homie.
Sure. So I was listening to the Duncan Trussell Family Hour podcast, as we do a lot and we talk about a lot.
Saint Duncan, dude. If he ever hears this, I would love to be on his podcast.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude, that would be a dream.
I probably would just sit silent because he's so rad.
Yeah. In love with him. The episode he had Jake Flores on, they were talking about just communist shit and dope shit like that. And Duncan brought up this thing called the Myth of Sisyphus, which is an essay written by Albert Camus. Would it be Albert because he's French?
It might be. I've always heard him just called Albert Camus.
Albert Camus.
Al Camus, baby.
And I was intrigued because basically he was saying, like, you meet the absurd, and then the only response is to commit philosophical suicide,
which is to me fucking. And we're gonna get into that. That shit is. It blew my fucking mind as I started reading about this, and I was listening to other people who are way fucking smarter talk about it than me and talk about philosophical suicide. I was like, maybe we're doing that right now. Like you and I have been on a journey of philosophical suicide.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think there's definitely some stuff we're going to get into that, like, I think our trajectory through the struggles of life definitely took us down these different philosophical roads and different schools of thought without knowing that we were.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. So I think that, like, right off the bat, what you need to know is our next few episodes are just going to be this stuff. We'll try and not do hard cuts. We'll try and, like, wrap every episode up as tidy as we can. But if you want to follow along, Myth of Sisyphus is free on Wikipedia. I think there's a link to a PDF. But you can also buy it. I bought it. You can listen to it on fucking anything that you would listen to audiobooks. And it would be rad to do, like, our little book club. This is our first of a little book club where we're all learning together. So this first episode, we're just going to talk about what the fuck is Sisyphus as the person, right? The myth.
The legend.
Yeah, the legend of Sisyphus. And we'll talk about Albert Camus. And then we'll talk about some absurdism, hopefully. And then our next episode, we'll jump into the first chapter and we'll talk about that. And then we'll do that until we're done. This thing, it's real small. It's like a pamphlet almost. I think 100 pages. So we'll get through it.
And I really think that, like, absurdism is a really fun philosophy to kind of explore. I think it's really focused on kind of fundamental questions that we all kind of deal with every day. And I look forward to learning about that with you guys.
Also, we should throw up a quick TWCW. This The Myth of Sisyphus is legitimately like the book by Albert Camus is very heavy suicide vibes.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah,
talks
very
about it a
serious
lot.
discussion.
It's a super serious discussion. I think we're going to take it as serious as we can. Being a person who like has wanted to kill myself more times than I'd like to admit, I just want to put that at the beginning. We might not get into a lot of that suicide talk today, but going forward, the Myth of Sisyphus is heavy about suicide from opening to end. So I just want to push that in there. If there's a suicide hotline in the U.S. and things like that you can call. Hopefully, I should look that up and put it at the end of episodes and shit like that. If you feel like you are sad and you want to hurt yourself, you got to reach out, call that line. Hell, like fucking send an email. I'll answer it. Like whatever you need. We'll love you till you love yourself type shit. So
For sure.
Awesome. Go ahead, Walter. Tell me about Sis.
Okay, so let's first, for background, we'll talk about the Greek myth of Sisyphus. And this is fun too because it's kind of, it is religion, right? It's like one of the classic mythological religions. Like, we don't even talk about these as religions anymore. But these are some OG ass fucking stories.
Yeah, dude. The first time I ever even thought about Sisyphus was me not even knowing who that was, but watching a Simpsons episode where Homer had to push a boulder.
Dude, I think Sisyphus is such a just beautiful metaphor for the human condition.
Yeah.
But so I read his basically a summary of kind of his whole storyline, because it would be, I don't even know how to read the myths. I don't know if you can, but essentially, he seems like a kind of rad fucking dude.
Dude, he's got heavy tome energy, dude. He's got heavy tome energy. Like, so Sisyphus would be a god in our religion, for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he does some rad shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, right, he's just a guy.
Yeah.
He's not like a god or anything like that. He is a king. He's like a king and founder of Corinth. And he was like, a king for his people, from what I can tell.
Oh, shit, really? In Corinth?
Yeah, at the time it was called Ephira.
Was that mentioned? Like that. Was he ever mentioned in the Bible at all?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is, yeah. So he was the king of Corinth before it was known as Corinth.
Okay.
And his story kind of starts when he starts. So he basically saw Zeus. This is, it's such weird Greek mythology shit. So Zeus is turned into hawk mode, as he's wont to do. He turns into animals all the time and comes down and fucks with people. He abducted this woman. So he just came down as an eagle, abducted this woman, and flew off with her. And Sisyphus saw this, and he was like, that was fucked up.
I just saw a godly kidnapping.
Yeah. So he was like, damn, that sucks. But this is a little bit of good and bad, right? Yeah. He's like, what can I do about it? But he realizes that the girl's dad is the god of the wellspring near his kingdom.
Okay.
So he's like, oh, I can go to this guy. He goes to him. He goes, look, man, I have information on where your daughter's at, but I want fresh drinking water for all of my people.
Hell yeah.
but he is like low key holding a woman's safety ransom. Right?
Yeah, a little bit.
So that's not great. That's not great.
It's not great.
But he did get his people water, so that's chill.
Yeah.
And he tells this guy. So Zeus finds out because he fights that guy. Drama happens, and he gets pissed, and he sends Thanatos, who's like the god of death.
Yeah.
If you're playing Hades, he's your cute boyfriend.
Yeah.
He comes after Sisyphus. Is like takes him to the underworld or whatever, is gonna kill him, and Sisyphus basically is like, man, I really like your hat, I like your shoes, you look great. I have
Sisyphus is just a hype beast.
Yeah, basically. Well, he's just like, I think he's playing into his vanity.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, bro, you need to put on these shoulder pads and these bracelets I got. That would really complete your fit.
Shit. Yeah, he's like, you got the Yeezys, but do you have the Gucci chains?
Mm-hmm. But these Gucci chains, they don't go around your neck. They tie you to the walls. So he basically like puts this like shackles on him and says they're like a hot fit.
Hell yeah.
So then Thanatos is chained up in the underworld and Sisyphus goes free. So he cheats death, literally.
Yeah.
And what's so sick about that is it defeats death for the entire world.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so sick. He's like, hey homie, fuck you. Your whole deal is done, dude. Nobody dies anymore.
Dude, and it's so funny because it's like now everyone basically just lives forever.
Oh my God, I love it.
Everyone's chill, it's all a good time, but what happens is the only thing that gets in the way of like basically utopia, and this is like, I think the Greek gods are so funny because they're such pieces of shit.
Yeah, dude. That's the best thing about Greek mythology. Like, to put a pin real quick, is that it's like they don't even try and cover up their fuckery, dude. Like,
no.
Like in the Bible, it's like God is great, God is good. You know what I mean? You got to read a bunch of scripture to find out that he's an asshole and like come to your own like kind of shit. But it's like, dude, they were just snatching motherfuckers up, you know, like literally we were just pawns in their fucking games in Greek mythology and everybody knew it.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, the only reason that this ends is because Ares, who's the god of war, says war isn't fun anymore. He's like, I keep making wars and nobody dies.
Jesus Christ, it's like capitalism, dude. Could you imagine? That's the U.S. government, dude.
So he frees Thanatos. He like finds out where he is and frees him, literally just so that people can start dying again. Doesn't care about Sisyphus or like any of the justice. Just like, man, war sucks now. You fucked up war for me, man. That's my whole thing. That's my one thing.
It's my one thing, and you fucking took it from me. He's just stomping his feet, just like fucking whining. Like Ares is just fucking pissed off and whining about like he's like, God damn it! Like I really wish more people would die during these wars.
Yeah, this shit's a bummer.
The biggest bummer about war is that nobody dies. It's
Yeah.
fucking terrible.
No, it's wild.
Jesus Christ, he's like fucking George Bush.
It's true. So then he lets Thanatos free, and Thanatos goes and finds Sisyphus, and he's like, man, you got me last time, but you're dead for real now.
Hell yeah.
So he takes him to hell. Hades or whatever. I think it's Tartarus is like the layer of hell he's at. Or no, that's where he ends up. That's not where he is now. But he's in hell, and I think this time he's talking to Hades, if I remember correctly, the god of the underworld. I don't think. Oh no! It's Persephone.
Oh shit! I know all these names from playing Hades, dude. I love it.
Yeah, dude. basically he's talking to Persephone, and he's like, look, she totally fucked up, man. When I died, when Thanatos got me this time, she didn't do the right kind of funeral for a king.
Oh, shit.
So she disrespected not only me, but death as a concept.
Oh, shit. Dude, he's such a fucking hustler, dude.
Oh, yeah, dude.
He's such a hustler.
He's like, I'm gonna make the system work for me.
Yeah, dude. Sisyphus is a fucking rebel, dude. He was reading like fucking how to fuck people up and shit. Like, like he basically was like, yeah, this is a union strike. I'm taking care of business.
So Persephone's like, that makes sense, dude. And he's like, yeah, let me go up there and I'm just gonna like get revenge on my wife. Like, I'm gonna get revenge for how she really fucked up.
Ooh, to the moon, I'm gonna get her.
I'm so pissed. So she's like, yeah, you get a day pass to go get revenge on your wife.
Hell yeah, you got work orders. He got work orders. He's like, I gotta go work my job, like.
Yeah. So he gets up there and he's just like, babe, I'm back. Let's go. So they just like flee. They just flee Corinth together.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And like, I think they just like go south and try to live forever.
He just fucking pulled a Shawshank. He's just like, I'm out. One Santaneo, is that the name of the fucking place, the island in fucking Shawshank? Oh man,
I don't remember that well,
God.
But yeah, dude. So he goes south. He's free. I forget how he actually gets put back in hell after that. I think like Hermes tracks him down the next time, but homie cheated death 2 times.
Yeah, that's fucking sick, dude.
And got clean water for his people.
Like, what a hero.
What a G.
Damn it.
But then they're like, dude, you were supposed to be dead 2 times. You defeated death.
You're really making us look bad. Ares is fucking still kind of sad. like
you tricked sweet Persephone. She's so sweet, and you really took advantage of her. So they were like, we're really gonna fuck you up now. So not only is he in hell, which already sucks, but they give him a unique punishment, which is like in Tartarus, they give him this big ass boulder, and they just say, roll this up a hill.
Yeah.
And the hill's like this super sleek, like slippery, steep hill. But it's like a cursed boulder or something. And essentially every time he gets to the top, it fucking rolls all the way back down to the bottom.
And then he's just got to start again.
He just has to do it again.
The only good part of his day is walking down that hill for a little bit.
Well, and that's where we'll get into the Camus stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Is the good part of his day is literally all of it.
Yeah.
If you embrace Camus' absurdist theory.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mean, what else you got? Anything?
No, that's the basic story. I mean, like, I think we'll see kind of how it ties into the philosophy and why it was used for the name of the essay.
For sure.
But mainly, it's the idea is it is a laborious and futile task.
Yeah.
That he's cursed with.
Yeah. That's brutal, dude. What a fucking shitty way to go. Because, I mean, technically, he's still doing that now.
Technically. If we are, I mean, personally, I've never met anyone who believes Greek myth to be
100. The one.
Their religion.
Yeah.
Never met it. I have heard there are some people who get down with the Norse shit still.
Yep, there are people who like the Norse shit, but
I haven't heard any like people that are like, damn, I really fuck with the Greek stuff still.
Yeah. So anyways, Albert Camus decided to use that mythology that Walter just went through for his book, The Myth of Sisyphus, and you'll see the themes throughout. So I'm just going to talk about Albert Camus real quick, run through some shit. Well, first off, he was born in 1913 in French Algeria, poor, dirt poor. His dad died before he even like met him, all this shit. He died in 1960 in a car wreck at the age of like 40, whatever that is. You can do the math. He was a TB survivor. He went to school, got his philosophy degree. A lot of his life, not a ton is there. Like when he got TB, moved in with his uncle, who was a butcher, and I think his uncle kind of radicalized him.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so this is where it gets like some real tome energy here. So he joined and left multiple communist parties because I think that he understood that people needed to be fucking taken care of, especially because he fucking grew up in a shitty colony, basically. And through that, like, became like super anti-colonization. I mean, he became a fucking communist and an anarchist.
Our favorite kind of people.
That's the one. That's the one. Like, so he goes to college, gets his philosophy degree. He kind of becomes a moralist, a humanist, some people would say. Just a person who believed that people needed to be fucking taken care of. During that time, though, he didn't support the Soviet Union at all, even though being a communist. But it was because he saw what they were doing and was like, this is totalitarianism. This isn't communism. He actually quoted, this is a great quote, the USSR was not socialist and the US is not liberal. He just was like, yeah, dude, he just lays it down. Shit that I've been fucking telling people forever.
He beat you to it.
He beat me to it, dude. So. Yeah. For a while, he was kind of like capital punishment could work in a way, which is hilarious to think that he wrote named his shit Myth of Sisyphus, took that because that is legit capital punishment, but after seeing shit with France and World War II and the shitty things that happened to people during that time, he was like, nah, this ain't the way, and became they call him like an opponent against capital punishment. Based a lot of his writings against it. It said the things he was against was capital. He was against capital. He was against exploitation, authority, property, bosses, the state. He was against all that shit. Most people would call him an anarcho-syndicalist, which is basically the way I understand it, in a lot of ways, is like anarchist communist, but doesn't really want to say communist, but they're all really pro-union. I think from the little reading I did was that the idea is you arrive at communist ideals through union. It more speaks to the methodology of achieving communism. Yeah.
of like, okay, we're going to get to anarchism by doing all these small unionizations that like squeeze big government out.
For sure. So honestly, he was probably wouldn't have been a Marxist, probably would have been more about Bakunin. It doesn't say if he read any of that shit, but it's more about doing a communism under the government's nose and not using them to enact like socialism and shit. So, and then funny fact, so he was so against the USSR that, and the Soviet Union that they're pretty sure that his death was an assassination from the KGB.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. So it was a car wreck on a straight road into a tree. No influence of drugs or alcohol. And the dude was like not speeding or anything like that. So that was driving. Yeah, it was like super random. And he was like, I mean, the dude has pedigree. Like it's insane. Like I when we were reading through, when we were going to do this, it was like, I don't want to just, Walter like suggested it. And I was like, all right, I'm down. But sometimes these philosophers, dude, you don't know what the fuck they're about. And then I started reading about the dude and I was like, oh my God, this dude's a comrade. Like he's rad. He believes in people. He fucking did tons of fucking work. He wrote for Combat, which was like a leftist paper and shit that, got shut down and fucking propagandized. You know what I mean? Like, So the dude's done a ton of fucking work. He cares about people. He was a little bit of a womanizer, I read. He had 2 wives. And one of them was like addicted to morphine. So he like bounced. Yeah. And then the other one, he cheated on a bunch and shit, which is like, I only bring that up because it's like, even though he did a lot of good things, he was still kind of shitty in some things, so.
Yeah, it's good to critique dudes, especially, there's a long period of kind of idolizing people and making men seem great. Yeah. And, they all have their flaws and it's important to recognize that. Yep. Doesn't mean we have to throw out the rest of the stuff he said, but it is good to critique the wrongs that people did.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want anybody to ever think I'm hiding the shitty things that people did, Yeah. Even if I can respect some of his philosophy and shit like that. Who was it that created absurdism, Walter?
Okay.
Kierkegaard?
My understandings is that absurdism kind of is birthed out of existentialism and nihilism.
Yeah.
And Soren Kierkegaard, who is this like Danish philosopher, kind of gave birth to the idea of absurdism.
Yeah.
And so the basic premise of absurdism is that it's referring to a contradiction in human beings.
Yeah.
And the absurd is the conflict or contradiction between the human desire for inherent meaning or value to life.
Yeah.
And
the question of why we are here, like
why we're here,
what's the meaning, what am I supposed to do? It's like, it's the reason why, like, it's like those answers that religion answers for people. That if you didn't have a religion, you would be like, then what's the meaning? Or if someone was trying to get you to come out to their home church, they would be like, if you don't believe in God, then why do anything? Those are the questions that would happen. And then the answer is that the absurd is that there the cosmos gives no answers.
Right. Yeah. The contradiction is that we are all seeking those answers, and that there seems to be no answers, or that reason can't give us those answers, or logic, or anything that we have at our disposal. And yet every person, and I mean, for me, this is completely true. And from my experiences with other friends and relationships I've had throughout my life, almost everyone I know has some level of a need for meaning or purpose. Or, I mean, it's a lot like, have you ever heard about that study they did with those college kids where they had them dig a hole?
No, but I want to know about it.
So they basically, I mean, it's a lot like the myth of Sisyphus, like the Greek myth. Essentially, some group was paying college kids. I think this was like early 2000s. I don't actually know when this was done, but they were paying people $20 an hour, right? So as a college student, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
For work you can do in between classes. And the job was, for 4 hours a day, you dig a hole. And then for the second 4 hours, because you have an 8-hour workday, you fill that hole back in.
Oh, shit. Like the book.
Well, in holes, do they fill the holes back up?
I don't know. I can't remember. It's been so long.
They were like looking for treasure, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't really remember holes. But yeah, essentially it's like, all people, the conclusion of the study was that, like, regardless of how good they were all getting paid, everyone quit after like one day.
Yeah, because it's fucking meaningless fucking bullshit, right?
Yeah, it like rots your heart. It like hurts your soul to do something useless.
All right. I gotta fucking, let me give you a fucking modern day example of this shit. You ready?
Sure.
So, when we can afford a tangent, we got time. So when Sarah and I first got, married, I was going through fucking barber school and shit, right? And she was the only one working, and it was brutal. And so I needed to find a job that I could do to try and help out with bills and shit like that, because we were just like fucking broke.
I remember this.
You remember the job I got?
Yeah.
That fucking, all right. So like, speaking of like man, it's so hard for me to say what the lowest part of my life was.
Because there's so many options.
There's so many options. I've had some low. I've been on an upward fucking trajectory, but
for sure.
But honestly, if I could fill a book with shitty, I'm gonna write a book about shitty work, dude. I have to,
sure.
like, and getting fucked over in jobs and shit, because I don't know. I just want to believe in people, But anyways, so I took this fucking job where it was paid for. So I used to be a union iron worker, and it was paid for by the carpenters union. And I was like, all right, well, it's only 3 days a week. And it's like, I think it was like 6 hours or some shit like that, where you would work for the carpenters union. And I didn't really understand, but some of my family worked it, and all of them, like, I shouldn't have fucking did it. I shouldn't have trusted, you know what I mean? But they're like, the pay's decent and shit. So the job, I get out there on the first day of the job, and it's me and my cousin and my dad. And they pull this fucking like tent bag out of the fucking back of the fucking truck. And I was like, all right, what are we doing? And they were like, well, we put this thing together, and it's a sign. Big yellow sign. And if you're in Columbus, you've seen these signs. They just say shame, shame, shame on you. And basically the fucking carpenters union was paying us to protest for the carpenters union. For whenever like a building would use non-union fucking work when they had a contract to use union work, like mostly like Kroger's. Kroger's is union. They would build a Kroger and then they wouldn't fucking use union labor to build it. So instead of having carpenters do it, they would just pay me to fucking stand out there for 6 hours holding a fucking big yellow sign that said shame, shame, shame. And literally, dude, I was just doing it to try and make a little bit of money. And all day people would drive by and be like, get a real job, you fucking homeless bum, like shit, like yelling shit. And I was just like, Sarah like calls that the dark times. She was like, you were just like soulless eyes of like, dude, I would have killed myself. It like, there was a point where I told Sarah, I think if I keep doing this, I'm going to fucking blow my brains out. Like I can't do this. Like,
it's brutal, man.
Yeah, dude, it was just fucking meaningless bullshit. It doesn't matter. And that, like, honestly, in a way, this is a tangent and I'm going to end it. But in a way, I was like, this is why when people are like, oh, just get a better job, or, oh, just go do this job. Oh, just make any money you fucking can. It's like, dude, I was holding a sign and making decent money fucking doing it. More money than you should make holding a fucking sign. Couldn't do it. It was fucking terrible. It was fucking like, oh my God, it was like prison, dude.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it is like an essential part of being a person is getting to have the freedom to do something with your time and to have that like essentially robbed of you. There's very little costs that justify that.
Yeah, dude, you remember that fucking I was so fucking God.
Oh yeah. No, that sounded so fucking awful to me.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking stupid. At the worst, we were like, when it was cold, we were holding this sign in the winter, and my dad would build this little fucking shanty out of tarps, and we would have this little propane heater in there, and we wouldn't even have to hold the sign because the fucking little shanty would hold it and shit like that. And my dad would turn the propane heater up, this little heater, and put a little fucking cooking sheet on there, and we'd make sandwiches. It was so fucking, dude, worst time of my fucking life, dude. It was fucking terrible.
That's fucking tough, man.
Oh, fuck.
But yeah, that's I mean, in one way or another, that's the condition we're all in, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well,
maybe there's some makeup on it, but at the end of the day, I think the absurdist argument is we're all doing essentially something.
Well, it talks a lot about,
as far as we know, useless and trivial.
Yeah, it's useless, trivial, and it's like when you wake up to the habit, right? Like it talks about that a lot.
I don't know.
I don't want to get into it, but it's just fucking, you know, but it is. Like, dude, like when we were talking about this, it was like, Walter, I think you described the first chapter of like poetry. And I mean, I read it and I was like, let me rewind that. I've read the first chapter 3 fucking times, dude. And I've listened to it once. And it's blown my fucking mind. Like I do think that I think I have some good things and some bad things to say about absurdism. But being a person who has questioned the meaning of it all and whether it's worth staying around, it rings very, very fucking like, honestly, I can't read that first chapter again because, like, I need to get to the point where he fucking tells me everything's going to be okay. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think that I'm pumped for it, man.
Oh, for sure, dude.
I'm pumped to find out. You know, maybe we won't find anything out about the cosmos and what it has planned for us, but
No, and that's not what absurdism aims to do, right? As far as I've read, there's not really the fundamental building blocks of absurdism is that there isn't an answer out there.
Yeah.
There aren't answers that we can know in this life. And it's more about, okay, what do you do with that? How do you, I mean, speaking of the suicide stuff, the basic premise of the essay is it, like, should you commit suicide, right? Like, is life worth living?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it is, right?
Yeah.
Because if there is no meaning, then fucking, like, be done with the mortal coil, dude. Like, it's fucking, why do we... That's why the myth of Sisyphus, the Greek myth of Sisyphus, is such a good springboard into this philosophy. Because if Sisyphus could kill himself after rolling that boulder up a few fucking times, he would have fucking done it. You know what I mean? But he was already in hell, but I think that what you said is like, what comes next? Knowing that there's no meaning, what comes next?
Yeah. And we'll get into this more. But if there is no meaning, is that cause to stop living?
Yeah.
Is that a legitimate reason? Is that a legitimate reason to commit suicide over that there isn't a purpose to life?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and even, I don't know, dude, this shit really rang true to me, especially like I was super, I thought about suicide like every day from the time I was like 15 till I was like 20 probably. So like, and it was literally over this stuff. It was literally over waking up and thinking like, I mean, what's the point?
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? It wasn't like things were bad for me. Things were good.
Yeah.
I had, money, I had shelter, I had food, I had friends. It was just like, do I want to do this? What's the point of doing this? Especially when you look out in front of you and the life path that people have set for you is work 8 hours a day and then come home. And the examples I had were, be in a miserable marriage.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know if I want to do that.
Well, that shit makes total sense coming from this dude and like knowing his philosophy. And like what he was against, you know what I mean? Like it seemed like this dude wanted to make more art and wanted to be more free. You know what I mean? The dude, I mean, he talks about freedom a lot and like fighting to be free and shit like that so much. And I think it is because of that, like that every day is the fucking same. You know what I mean? You're not free. Every day is the fucking same. And, my shit with suicide, I think, is a little bit different. It's like pain and fucking suffering and like shit like that. But he even addresses that a little bit of like, this isn't the only reason that people kill themselves. You know what I mean? But like, I do think that it's a big one of like, I think just to end like, just to give you like the opening of chapter 1 before we sign off, he says that the philosophy of absurdism, of suicide, is the only one that matters. Firstly, this is what matters. Like you can think of everything, and this dude went to. He got his fucking, degree in it. He studied all of them, Nietzsche and everybody, and he came out of that saying that unless we're going to have this conversation, then we don't even really need to fucking think about this,
Yeah. the most important question is life worth living? And then after that, everything is kind of, secondary.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that this is going to be a good journey. And I think that, if you've felt that monotony, if you felt that, is it worth living? I think that this is going to be a good journey for you too. And
yeah, no, I think for me, if you don't have your reason, for living, because I don't think this is the kind of thing where we're waking anyone up to a new realization, that they need meaning, that they crave meaning. I think a lot of people have gotten that through whatever their personal spiritual beliefs are, whether you're a Christian or, you believe in astrology super heavy, or maybe you're fucking Elon Musk and you think that we're just going to go to Mars and that's going to be the solution to the emptiness of life. I don't know. But if you're a person who hasn't settled on a reason and you're looking for one, because it's hard not to, I think absurdism gives you a lot of freedom and can help you.
Yeah.
So I really hope that this is a helpful, because I think if I read this when I was younger, I do think it would have helped me.
Oh, yeah.
I really hope so.
This is one of those philosophies, works. This is one of those works that I would put up there with like, I wish I would have read this in high school.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I wish that someone would have given me this book, and honestly, I'm going to buy a bunch of fucking paper copies and fucking hand them out. Cause
hell yeah.
I think that, I think for even the youth, I think when you're so young, it's hard to know the meaning. You're just kind of told to go where and,
mm-hmm.
win and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And as you get older, you get into a fucking shitty job, and we live in a hellscape where, like, if you don't work 40 hours a week, you can't survive anyways, So, I don't know. I'm really pumped for this. And I'm excited that Walter brought it up. And I think that, I don't know if this works well, if it fucking goes, like, I think that this could be like normal shit that we do on this podcast of like going through and dissecting shit like this and learning about ourselves through, more philosophy.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So, I think we're good there. Just subscribe, fucking do all that shit. Give us reviews. If you want to reach out, tell us how we're doing, you can send us an email, tomachaospodcast@gmail.com. If you or anyone you love is going through the brutality of wondering if they should be here or not, find ways to talk to someone, send us an email at that email, I will answer emails, as soon as I get them. And shit like that. I think that, I don't know, maybe the verses will love you till you love yourself. Cause, I really believe that. I had people who, did that for me. So yeah, that's all I got.
Oh yeah, man. I don't think I have anything to add. I think you said it all, and yeah, I hope everyone has someone to reach out to, and if you don't, there is the suicide hotline. I think it's like 1-800-273-8255.
Yeah.
And, if not that, send us an email or some shit.
Yeah.
Dave checks that. I'll try to check it. And, yeah. Love ya.
Love ya. Hope chaos walks with you this week.